Need for Speed Unbound failed. Or did it? Checklist before we start. Yes, you should still buy the game. It is really good. I enjoy it. It's currently on sale for up to 70% on the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, which is just an insane deal. Which is also suspiciously perfect timing for an update announcement, because those usually happen on Tuesdays. And this video was inspired by the Militia Gaming community. I'll link his down below in the description. I don't agree with everything in that video, but I also agree with a lot of it. And I just thought it would be good to give my take on the whole situation, because everyone coming together and giving their opinion can only do good things. Now, I want to push away the obvious few. We know why. The main overarching reason that it didn't do that well is because at launch, no one can get access to a console. It was only available on the new consoles, and that was hard to get hold of. EA also didn't push the game. I didn't see anything anywhere, and I think we came out at this weird time where EA has been quietly releasing games. I hope this is changing with the Summer Game Fest about to arrive and the big summer announcement of games. The shows seem to be coming back, and that is where I learn about a lot of games that are not in my niche, which is super important. It was announced and released really quickly to the point that some people just didn't even know it existed. And according to multiple publications by publishers themselves, people are being a bit more picky with their games. I mean, inflation is insane right now, and well, the price of games has gone up with that, which hand in hand, that's no one has console. All of that, it's kind of pool of disaster, especially when racing games are not quite what they once were. But I still hope and believe that we can get to that point. Countering with the good news though, these sales have definitely buffed up the player count, and the new consoles are now readily available, flying off the shelf quicker than they ever have. They've not only had a chance to begin fixing the slow start, the slow burn, they've had time to introduce updates, which will hopefully increase replayability over time. So here we go. These are my big issues with Need for Speed Unbound, even though I love the game. Let me make that clear. Artificial content inflation. This is a large one for Need for Speed Unbound, and a sticking point that will kind of keep cropping back up. Heat, I think, had too little in terms of padding, okay, to make it a game. Unbound, on the other hand, completely too much. The complete opposite side of the scale. I've been playing a game recently that is very, very similar in that. The Last of Us 1, I think, was personally perfect. Not a racing game, but then going over to The Last of Us 2, it was a very similar situation to Unbound. I actually got Matthew to play through the game. I got up to a certain point in the game, and I didn't want to play that game anymore. But man, it drags, and I definitely felt like some of the campaign dragged unnecessarily. The balance wasn't there with the economy. The beginning was really slow, and then you were grinding. Later on in the game, they throw money at you, and so you just skip half of it. But to skip it, you have to still... It just wasn't very intuitive compared to Heat's day-night thing. End game. I can't tell you how many times I've spoken about this. We are, what, 7 years into the new Need for Speed formula from 2015. Of course, it iterates every single time. There's differences. They made it always online. They made it back into single player, split multiplayer, single player, combined with the older. They went back and forth a million times, and this is my biggest issue, I think. The Crew 2 updates every 2 months with a changing update. They vary in size, and it's the same with all games like Forza Horizon 5. However, Forza Horizon 5 gets a new thing each week. The Crew also gets a new thing each week, but the actual theme, the game changes every 2 months. In Forza, they don't really get those large updates anymore. However, they got them. That's the thing. The game is much older than Need for Speed, and it's still getting updates every month. If Forza Horizon can pull me back in once, twice a month, they are doing something. Because I don't actually enjoy the gameplay of the game. I enjoy the gameplay of Need for Speed. I enjoy my arcade racing games a lot more. However, man, they do stuff outside of their gameplay to bring people back in. Where's the new game plus? It's such an obvious thing with this system of a calendar like Juice. Where are the rare cars? Where's the marketplace, mini games, custom lobbies? I could list so many things. But man, you could do so much to just keep it. You don't even have to do that much to bring me out. Gran Turismo has an update every month with 3 cars at least. I'm not going to talk about the gameplay side of things because they have an issue as well. Cops Why are they so annoying and useless? That's the category name. I cannot remember a time that I ever hated police in a racing game. I don't quite understand how I've created this thought in my head, because normally I'm like cops, and people are like, I'm so glad Underground 2 didn't have cops because they would be annoying. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Cops make it intense, scary. They add an element to the game that isn't available on any other game. It is one of their unique points. And then with Unbound, they somehow made them useless and annoying. After going from a peak, in my opinion, at launch with Need for Speed Heat, they have come so far down. I don't understand what was going on there. They tried to make it a lot more tactical, so there's different cop tiers that you need to do certain things to take out certain cops, but they really didn't go far enough with it. They marketed it that this is going to be a big change, and honestly, it made it worse somehow, which was annoying because in Heat, they already nerfed the cops and made them a little bit more useless. There needs to be a tie-in with the difficulty of the police and the difficulty of the user setting. This is a huge one, and there really needs to be a purpose. In Need for Speed Heat, they gave you a multiplier. The longer you're out, the longer the heat, the more money you would earn, or the more heat you would earn based on the heat. In Unbound, they just stop me from getting from a place. They're not difficult, and that makes it not scary. You've got to kind of have this perfect balance, and they really didn't get it. They're so easy that they just are mind-numbing, and the only reason they can keep up with me is helicopters. There's a video from White Light that I'll definitely reference at the end of this video. But how do we go from rivals cops against some of the best in the series, stupidly aggressive, over the top, crazy, and then we go to 2015. What was that? And then we managed to get back to Heat. Oh my goodness, Heat. Oh, incredible. I still can't believe Payback had no cops. They had missions, but they had no free run. That was insane. And then we start and launch Unbound without any cops online. What? It's your like prime thing. It's your selling point over the other franchises. No one else does it because everyone else is scared of doing it. Please, you have to get it right, because if someone else comes along, like Midnight Club possibly comes out with a reboot, because Take-Two's mentioning that they're bringing back, they are going to wipe the floor with you, because right now they are useless. They are boring. They are not entertaining. I feel like I'm probably just bashing this game right now, but I do love it. Now this one is mostly because budgets are reduced. Games are more expensive. A combination of the few, but the reduced variety of gameplay is substantial. Now, what I don't get is why we have less than we did in Heat. Again, all you had to do is kind of copy the format, the formula. It worked. You can do that. Like, I know I complain about Forza keeping the same thing over and over again, but when it comes to events, maybe there's something there. Drift-specific cars have just combusted. They've burnt, they've gone into the abyss. And I don't really get why, because they really did some focus on the handling. And I think the handling is better than Need for Speed Heat in pretty much every way. Each game has been getting better and better in the handling and allowing my friend. I think they're at a point where it's actually really, really good. However, the drifting got worse and took a back seat, and then there's no proper drift events. We got some like off-road ones, and then we got some drift ones that were just it didn't feel like it was given love. It was tacked on. They thought, okay, with the handling, what we want to do is make it a type of handling. So your car is like this. Instead of having cars, okay, I've got a drag car, a drift car, race car. That's kind of how it should be. Like, what happened to drag? Why have we got drag tires and no drag events? You've got perfect locations for drag events, but no drag events. What happened to that? Why is the gameplay reducing over time? Why are we now just stuck with racing and drifting? And the drifting is not enjoyable. It was a last minute kind of throw, it feels. Where did the follow missions go from Need for Speed Heat? That was cool. It added something to it. Like, drive to this location with me. Cool. I'm going to race her there after I've done it a few times. But then following and making and spying on people and things like that. The follow missions were super cool. What happened to lap knockouts? What happened to outrun events from Need for Speed? Like, where did these go? These were, yes, maybe experimental, but they added variety. We're now down to sprint circuit. I can't tell a difference between the two, quite honestly. And then we've got kind of drift and kind of drift again. But it's ASAP Rocky's done on a shipping container. But the ultimate reason I genuinely think that people are not sticking around with this Need for Speed, and well, obviously the replay value is a big one, because what is there to do after beating the campaign? The online. Why are cars split? Now, I took an approach to this originally as a, right, okay, let them cook. Maybe they can prove to us why this is the case. I get it. All right, let's be real. From the surface, what it looks like is that they were artificially increasing the longevity of the game as it is, okay? But to be honest with you, for most people, I think they beat the campaign, they went online, they went, where are my cars? And then they were like, oh my God, I have to unlock everything again. Oh my God, I have to buy everything again. Oh my God, I have to upgrade every car again. Once I have finished a single player, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm going to go to multiplayer, and I want to play with friends, and I want to do fun challenges, and I just want to have fun with the cars that I built on the campaign. Why it was split, I don't know, because in the past we've had it so that in Payback, for example, it was split multiplayer, single player, but you could access the cars cross between. There was no issue there. For non-competitive players, I don't like competition. It's just not for me. I'm a cooperative player. I like just making these fun, silly challenges. Fun is my priority. Why is it only competitive races? Where's like custom lobbies at least, so I can make my own stuff? Why can I not turn off my HUD again? Why has that feature been removed? It's such a small feature that could allow for so much cool stuff. Like, I had to mod. Okay, I used not a mod, but like I forget what it's called, but you can make the game look a little bit prettier. It's not graphics mod. So I press that, I can hide the HUD. Why do I have to do that? I should be able to turn the HUD off fully. There were no cops at launch. An invite system and economy that didn't encourage variety. Everyone just went, oh, let me jump on the most expensive paying out events. That makes sense. I hit max level in a week, which leaves very little to progress. Why does the number not just continue to go up? I don't get why. The updates are too slow, and there's no communication between them. We hear literally nothing. Why is there no interaction? Why? There's got to be something. I'm willing to do paid DLC. Why have you not released any paid DLC? I would give you my money. So that is my big ball of opinions. It could be something you disagree with, but I think that's the issue at hand, is the longevity. I think the people that have decided to not buy the game, they don't really buy racing games that often anyway. They don't have access to a console. That stuff is pretty self-explanatory, and we know why. The issue now is, how can we bring people back? How can we make people buy the game? And updates is the only answer. You need some form of replay value. In single player, sure, but multiplayer mostly. Either way, there's no longevity in either of those. So why in the hell, when I make the effort to jump in a game, well, I've already got the best cars. What is there for me to do other than create my own game modes? Again, I'm a YouTuber. Here's a little mini roast I wanted to add on. There are some issues that people like to mention that actually have no difference whatsoever to the sales figures. The soundtrack. Lord knows how many times people mention, oh, the soundtrack is why I didn't buy this game. No, it is not. It can be part of the reason, but if you like the look of the game, yeah, you would still buy it. I don't like rock music. I don't like drum and bass music. However, I still bought Need for Speed in those eras. Why? Because the game was good. Shut the hell up, turn that music slider down and open Spotify. What the hell is wrong with you? Turn it off. What? And then the lack of Toyota or any other car brand. Oh, I didn't buy it because Toyota's in the game. Can I please not have to explain this every single time? Is that it's Toyota's fault? Blame Toyota. It's the same with any game, how they have missing brands. It's the brand. They don't choose to go, no, we don't need it. Of course they want it. There are some people out there. Oh, the best video on this topic, in my opinion, about the game as a wrap-up, I again recommend the game, just like White Light does. This, in my opinion, is one of the best videos I've seen on the topic, and I highly recommend you watch this one. Smash like, subscribe, and hopefully the update's coming soon. Peace.